So he's FI dominant. I can't even lie to myself. Yo, it's Gucci, guys. Ho ho ho. Santa Claus is here, aka Rusted Typology. Merry Christmas to everyone who is supporting the channel, anyone who likes the videos, who comments and subscribes. Merry Christmas to you all. We are going to be unpacking some presents. And one of those presents will be a new correlation list. Now, what makes this list so special is the fact that there are no limitations. So let's start with the ESTP. Now, with the ESTP, if you go to any website, right, if you Google right now, if you go and Google and you say, what are the most common Enneagram types, you'll see 7. Well, if you look at the SP7, what it really is an individual who lives in the moment. They are hedonistic, right? They like to party. They don't think much about the future. And they're goofy and they make jokes. Another combination that happens for the ESTP is the sexual 3. Sexual 3 is masculine and sexy. ESTP is considered masculine and sexy. Then we have the sexual 2, which makes sense. Think about it. What is the ESTP? A seducer. It's SCFE, right? Because SC dominant, FE tertiary. Their SCFE combination, they're able to adapt to any individual while being very superficial. So they want to seduce you, want to impact you, which makes perfect sense with the sexual 2. Sexual 6. ESTP can be scared. ESTP can be reactive. And they also can hate authority. Now, if you combine all of those traits, that actually creates a type called sexual 6. Yes. No, it is actually not a very intellectual type. It's very reactive and very uninhibited type that simply lives in the moment and reacts in the moment as quickly as possible with rebellion. Then we have the ENTJ. Now with the ENTJ, obviously Enneagram 8, this is simple. TE dominant, bossy, controlling. They will tell you what to do. They will use their TE to tell you the harsh truth of reality, to get results, and they hate weakness. And they will control you along the way. Then we have Enneagram 1. You know, kind of like Thanos, although not really, because Thanos is actually an INTJ 1. Think about a guy who knows the way. And he has a vision for the future, and he wants you to achieve it. And he's very smart. He's smart and deep, and everyone likes him. And because everyone likes him, they kin him. And because they kin him, that makes him an intuitive type. Because no one really gives a about sensors. Do you really think and anyone would give a shit about a human being who can only talk about what the weather is today or what pizza they ate yesterday? No. Sensors are boring. Okay. Then another combination that I have seen on PDB, which is obviously a bit better than Reddit and very credible website. And I've seen ENTJ 2, I think it was SP2. Now, if you really think about what is SP2 and what is the ENTJ, it makes sense. ENTJ is TE dominant. They can use their methods of action, what you should do, how you should do it to help you. They will outline what you need to do to achieve your dreams. They won't bake you a cake, but they will certainly tell you what to do for you to bake a cake. Now, ENFP, I would say sexual 8 with the ENFP. ENFPs are very unconventional individuals who truly go their own way. They have their values. And you might ask, well, Russ, but you told us that any base contradicts the last of Enneagram 8. That's not true, really. Lust doesn't have to be physical and sensorial, even though it is described as such in all the resources that we know to mankind. I can think about theories and constantly circle jerk theories to feed my lust to circle jerk, my lust to think. ENFP, then we have, I would say, sexual 2. I have seen this combination often on Reddit. Very, very many ENFPs too. Just think of the manic pixie girl happy-go-lucky who wants to help you and seduce you, who might slurp you, but you will never know what's gonna happen. That's the unpredictability of the NE base. Or, oh shit, guys, I was slipping some socionics there. I meant NE dominant. Before some of you gonna be calling me out that, oh my god, he's actually brainwashing us with socionics, which indeed I am, but you're too slow to notice it. To be honest, ENFPs are fucking overrated, so we need to move on. Santa told me this, by the way, those are not my words at all. Many people really make fun of this combination, but INFP 8, I do think, and I feel like it would be sexual 8. Now, INFP8 is the typical, an artistic person. Think of an artist. He's very deep, he's rebellious, he has his values. He's not going to abandon those values to anyone. Think about like Sexual 8 INFP, like Marlon Brando. That's a perfect example, right? He's kind of deep, introspective, and he has his own flair. Very unconventional and rebellious, which fits the INFP. You know, FI and NE makes perfect sense for the Sexual 8. I'm definitely not making this shit up. INFP Sexual 7. The way I see INFP Sexual 7 is basically an INFP who should have been extroverted but actually isn't, because they have an anxiety disorder and they were kind of socially rejected when they were young. So now they're just an INFP instead of being ENFP, which obviously our types can change, and introversion, extroversion, something that's changeable. Then we have INTJ. INTJ Sexual 8. Everyone laughs at this combination, you know, everyone makes fun of it, everyone thinks it's funny, hahaha, you don't understand typology, but in fact, Santa told me that, you know, all these other people denying the combinations are just morons. They haven't done the necessary research because they're ignorant, okay? They just live in delusion. INTJs are extremely intense, intimidating, and assertive individuals who know exactly what they're doing. Now, they will use their NI dominance to seduce you, to overpower you, to have power over you, to own you. They will do that by being able to tell you what time it is. And it is time for your cheeks to be spanked. INTJ SP3 is also a combination that's very possible. This is an INTJ who's not socially anxious and passive. He just chooses not to talk because he's one of the silent sigmas. That's it. So a very successful, more private individual who knows exactly what to do to succeed in his goals, which kind of does correlate to NI dominance. You know what to do, you can kind of have a plan for the future, you plan. Their favorite way of bragging is actually humble bragging. Then we have the ISFP. Now with ISFP, I would say again, Sexual 8, and that's gonna be, think of a guy, strong values. He's kind of introspective, but sensorical and impulsive at the same time. But he's standoffish. He's very standoffish. He doesn't like people, so he's introverted. But he will die for his values, so he's FI dominant. I can't even lie to myself. Then we have the ESFJ, and that's gonna be Social 8 as one of the most blueprinted examples. Think of someone like Dominic Toretto from the movie franchise Fast and Furious. What does he care about? Family. He says family over and over again. Every fucking movie he talks about family. If you talk about family this much, you must be FE dominant. They will also force feed you. You know, if you are starving, this is someone who's gonna bake you a cake, and instead of being nice about it and ask you if you're hungry, they will tell you you are hungry, and they will force feed you until maybe you puke and just fucked up things happen. But this is how the ESFJ Social 8 actually works. They have good intentions. They believe that they're doing this for the greater cause. I guess fight against starvation in the world, something like that. ESFJ Social 7, I think makes sense. Think of someone who's happy-go-lucky, help other people, and even I think some authors even talk about them being the savior or something. You know, it's called sacrifice. Do you know what other type actually sacrifices? The ESFJ. Now with INTP, I would definitely add the SP8, and this is a simple equation. The SP8 is introverted. The INTP is introverted. The SP8 is described as a lion who only moves when they're hungry. Now, INTP is a lion that only moves when it's hungry. Then I would also say SP9. I think SP9 is such an underrated combination. Think about it. SP9 is lazy. INTP is lazy because they have a P at the end, and P equals perceiving. Perceiving equals only looking at something, not doing it. And that is laziness. Then we have the INTP Sexual 5. Sexual 5 is romantic, INTP can be romantic, so INTP Sexual 5 is an INTP that is a romantic. And that's basically the justification of this amazing combination that some dumb f***s actually believe in. Obviously, we cannot start ENFJ just like the ESFJ without the social aid type. A visionary, a man of his people, a person who unites other individuals under the same banner of the same identity, standing up for the oppressed. So this is someone who definitely can operate within groups. They want to be in a leadership position. They want to influence people, have that kind of power, and lead people to try to fight against the oppressive systems. No one ever would deny this combination unless they are haters, or it's like maybe rusted typology fans. Then we have the social 7, same as the ESFJ, similar fucking explanation. The difference is that ENFJ is just smarter. ENFJ is just superior because they are the intuitive type. So if you can pick between ESFJ and ENFJ, always pick the ENFJ because sensors are pathetic and sensors have low IQ. Now the ENTP is going to be sexual 8 because they're funny, they're witty, and they're debaters. Very controversial and rebellious. Also because kind of like Joker, but not really. And another big argument why this combination even works to begin with is the fact that most of the people on Enneagram 8 board are ENTPs. They would never lie about that. They would never mistype themselves because they know themselves better than you know them. Thus, they are correct and you are wrong. So ENTP is going to make a lot of sense with the sexual 4. So this is a type who's ENTP who's a bit more depressive and very poetic and artistic, but quite aggressive. When he argues with people, he tends to use a lot of ad hominems and he tends to be very vindictive. He's also very insensitive to other people's feelings because he's entitled to spurg at them like the ape that he is. Then we have the ISTJ, and with ISTJ, I would say we have SP5. Think of a guy who can build houses. He uses a lot of brain and he's very self-sufficient. Just an ISTJ who's very smart and he thinks about things before doing them. He collects information and he wants to be very knowledgeable. Thus, he's very much the Enneagram 5, the investigator. Now, ISFJ, yeah, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but basically Santa told me that this type is removed. He kind of removed it. He said they're too NPC-ish and that there's no place for them in the world. Which I argued with them. I told them, dude, you cannot fucking do that. People will fucking be pissed. But that's what he said. And yeah, man, Santa's a dick wank, I'm telling you. But anyway, guys, that's it from me for today. Again, Merry Christmas to everyone. So in the comment section, try to create the worst abomination combination possible. Something that should not exist in real life or even on Reddit, and try to make it work. Use your wit, use your intellect like the 7 core you are to make those combinations work. Let's have some fun in the comment section. Again, Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm Chaos and I'm bouncing.